Hi, how are you? So today we're going to look at some other body language gestures with respect to the head, the hands, especially the palms, and the feet, right? The legs, especially the feet. So let's get started. So the head gestures. These are the common head gestures that you'll see all over the world. That is nodding, shaking your head, or maybe angling, sorry, tilting. This is tilting. Angling could be like, how does the person look at you? Does he look like this, or does he or she look like, down? This angle of the head. And also the head bob, which is very common in India. Here in India, it's very common, the head bob. So let's look at one by one. So the nodding, it's very universal, which means if you're in agreement with something, you nod. And if you're in disagreement, you shake your head no. So nod is a yes, shaking of the head is a no, and that's universal everywhere. However, the intensity of the nod also suggests certain things. For example, if it's a very serious agreement, it's going to be like, yeah. For example, if you're like excited about something, you nod your head very rigorously. And similarly, the shaking of the head as well. If you are in disagreement very seriously about something, you tend to go a lot more aggressive with the shaking of the head. Otherwise, it's just going to be, if it's a very casual no, it's going to be like, yeah. But if it's very no, right? If something is not to be done, no. So the aggression matters here. The velocity, what do you say? How fast you do it matters. And then comes the tilting of the head. So when you tilt your head, so what could this mean? Again, context matters here. For example, if somebody is saying something very interesting to you, something of curiosity, something which enhances your, thinking tank. Like they say something like, "Oh yeah, that star is that many light years away. Wow, that's interesting." So it kind of induces a sort of curiosity in you, which is when you tilt your head. But you could also tilt your head when you are confused about something. Let's say somebody said something which you didn't understand. You're like, what? What was that? People tend to tilt their head like, what? I didn't get you. So again, context matters. And then comes the angling of the head. So when you angle your head, when someone, a person, he or she speaks to you, if that person is looking straight into you, fine. But if they're looking like that, let's say you're similar height, but they look at you like this, right? Kind of like the head, or they walk around like this all the time. You know what that means? That means that person thinks highly of themselves. They think they're superior in a way, which is why they angle their head up and kind of like looking down on everybody. This is a basic body language. But some people, the context again matters. Some people might have the habit of just walking like this. So again, context matters and their behavior matters. Just read their behavior, you'll come to know why do they tilt their head up when they're speaking. Because mostly, based on the context again, they might think very highly of themselves, which is why they do this, like that. But if you angle the head down, for example, if you get scoldings from somebody, let's say your parents or whoever it is, a person of authority is saying something to you and he's scolding you, he or she is scolding you, what do? You bow your head down. So you're ashamed. Or maybe you could be, what do you say, out of respect. For example, if someone, right. So it's respect. It signifies respect as well when you bow your head. Or some people do with their hat, right? So they bow their head. So that could be respect as well. So shame, also respect, context matters. But this could be superiority, or it could also be pride, like full of pride, angling your head up. And finally, the bobbing of the head bob, which is very common in India. Now in India, when someone bobs their head, again, that's just agreement. instead of doing this, they go this. Do you understand? Or let's say you explain something to them and you end it by saying, did you get it? They go this, they go like that. So that's the head bob, which means yes, I get it. Now here are some gestures with respect to the palms. So the hands, as we discussed earlier, that crossing the arms could signify reservedness, could signify disagreement with what you're saying, so they cross their arms. Or if they open their arms, they could be like, okay, I'm open for everybody, right? I'm open for discussion with you. I am in agreement with you. Whatever you're saying is correct. So openness. Now the same thing goes with respect to the palms as well. If the person is speaking to you, if he or she has an open palm, like, all right, any questions? So here, open palm. So they're like, ready for questions, which is why they have open palms. So any questions? Yes, you please. So this may signify that the person is ready to take on whatever task is given to them and is open for everything. If they ask questions, they're open for the questions, which is why they have open palms, right? And they are in engagement with you. They're engaging with you. They're having a meaningful conversation with you. However, on the contrary, if their palms are closed, mostly they'll be like this. Now, if this is the body language of a person, so any question? Now, after the presentation, let's say the first reaction was like, any questions? They were open for the questions, right? But the second person was like, after the presentation, he or she is like, any questions? Now this is very nervous behavior, and also the palms are closed. They're like, let's, I don't want anybody to ask any questions, dude. Please get me over this right now. Okay. No questions? Oh, thank you. All right, fine. I'm going. So closed and open palms matter based on the context. And then comes the touching the tip of the fingers while speaking. For example, if a person is, and this happens mostly in presentations or business meetings, when somebody is presenting something and they go like this. This. Okay, so did you get that? Fine. And this is the graph, and this is what we're going to do with this business proposal. So this means authority, confidence, and also this signifies preparedness, that the person is prepared. The person is well educated about whatever that person is speaking of, and when they speak, they do this, right? Trying to explain things to their subordinates. On the contrary, if fidgeting the fingers, like drumming the fingers, kind of like fidgeting, this you can see people waiting in line to be interviewed or something like that. They fidget with their fingers, or they drum their fingers on the table. They fidget among themselves. They do this. Nervousness. These people are nervous, especially in the interviews. They just have an interview about 10 minutes down the line, so they're nervous, like, oh my god, all the questions I might get asked in this interview. Oof. They're nervous, hence they drum their fingers, they drum their desk, whatever, or they just rub their, if they rub their hands like that, now this could mean again preparedness, like, okay, let's see what we have here, right? But if they are like, they're going in and out like that, that could also mean nervousness. So the way they do it also matters based on the context. Now finally, with respect to the feet, the body language with respect to the feet. So as we discussed in earlier videos, if the person's body is faced in your direction, that means that that person is interested in speaking to you. But if it's faced away, that means that that person is not interested in speaking to you. He or she is not interested. But again, context matters. What if that person is very casual with you? So, that if that person is very casual, they could do anything with you. They could employ because they're relaxed with you. But however, if you're meeting that person for the first time, or if it's an interview, it happens subconsciously, right? So if you're ready to face the questions, your feet will be flat on the ground and you're facing the interviewer. if it's an interview or if it's an important business meeting, whatever. So you're faced. But if you're like this, like that, or a little, crossed leg, a little pointed away, so that could mean that that person is not interested. Similarly, that applies to the feet as well. If the feet is pointed towards you in the direction, then that means that that person is engaged with you, like he or she is engaged in the conversation with you. However, if the feet face away, and particularly if you're indoors and the feet face toward the exit door, which way is the exit? Let's say they're the exit, they're facing that way, so that means that that person is like just waiting to get the hell out of the situation, right? So feet matters. And also the restlessness is shown by how a person's feet behaves. For example, if you fidget with your feet, just like how you fidget with your fingers, people also fidget with their feet. They tap their feet, like that. Now when that happens, that person is restless. Again, this can happen just before an interview, just before a business proposal, or just before an important business meeting, an important presentation, whatever. So this happens, that is fidgeting of the legs. However, if the person is playing with his leg, like he or she is just the entire leg goes up and down like that, now that means that that person is expectant of something positive. Say for example, if you're in a meeting and everybody applauds you, you're seated and everybody applauds you, automatically, if you have, and this happens mostly when you have crossed your legs, right? So if the feet goes up and down like that, that person is like enjoying the attention, or that person is expectant, like, oh wow, this was a success. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.